we're going to talk about the curriculum analysis now. And again, in the context of cyclical evaluation, here are the links. Today, I'm going to start by saying that what is a curricular analysis and why do we need that? What are the steps? And a novelty that has been introduced from this year and was the fact that it was introduced, I will explain more in detail, is that we wanted to avoid delay. So we split. There was the curriculum analysis is a huge task. So the decision was made to split it into two phases, rapid curricular analysis and formal curricular analysis. So until now, until last month, this is what I did with all the academic units. So the decision was made to split the whole thing and make it this way. I will give you some more explanations on how this works. So what is a curriculum analysis? Basically, what we would like to do is to evaluate the alignment of all pedagogical activities with the program learning outcomes. Okay? Whether this is courses, comprehensive exam, labs. And what is the tool that we use? Obviously, the curricular analysis, which is a step-by-step process to find out here reliable clues as the alignment and natural gaps or redundancies that may exist. So we say natural because we just revised, you remember the timeline? We just revised the PLOs. So it's completely natural that you see gaps and redundancies, okay? And inform the action plan, that is one important section of the evaluation report that the external evaluators, they read carefully. So again, we have the coverage and levels of coverage, introductory, reinforcement, advanced, but we are also interested by the type, the number and temporal distribution of students' assessment, internationalization, experiential learning aspect, bilingualism, and transferable skills. So we are taking a holistic approach and we look at the whole picture. This is the famous spiral. We take the students at the introductory, we bring them to the advanced level, and we explain also what does it mean. So introductory means that the students are working at the basic level. Reinforcement, they already have the basis, they progress, and advanced, they are performing at the highest level expected from graduates of this degree. So curriculum analysis is again, evidence-based examination of the learning activities to evaluate the alignment of these activities with the program learning outcomes. So the most important thing to take into consideration when talking with faculty members, this is not an evaluation of the courses. This is an evaluation of the alignment of the courses with the program learning outcome. The major objective here is to ensure that we have coherence between the activities and as well as rigor.
Sorry, can you say that again? It's not an evaluation of the courses, it's an evaluation of the
alignment
of the courses with the program?
Yes. Okay. A course may be extremely good. Okay, perfect, top-notch, etc., etc. But it's not aligned with the these program learning outcomes. We don't want to open the Pandora box, enter into, that's why. So it's a multi-stage process. I present to you the new process that is being worked out. So we have basically 5 stages, stage 1 to 5. And the stages with my emoji on it is the stages with yours truly will support you. So stage 1, propose changes to the curriculum for better alignment with revised PLOs. So this is going to be done via an Excel sheet. that is easy to use, and that's why it's very rapid. I'm going to show it to you. And then stage 2, so stage 2 is not me anymore. Process feedback from external evaluators on the proposed change, include final curriculum change proposal in implementation plan. So all of that, you will have documents that will be shared by the office with you, but I can also explain the details here. But just the part that is concerning me is to, in stage 1, to fill in, and this is why it's rapid. I'm trying to switch this to able to do it.
So in stage 1, we do an analysis of the curriculum through a lens of the PLOs. We see if they're aligned.
Yes, and the way you are going to do it is this way. So if imagine you have an undergraduate, so the idea, and that's why we call it rapid. The idea is that you're going to list down the courses in your program. So you have compulsory courses and you have optional and elective courses, right? So the instructions are here, but let me explain to you how this works. Going to identify, let's say you have an undergraduate degree with 40 courses. The students need to take 40 courses, 120 units. Okay. So out of these 120 units, 90 units are compulsory units, for the sake of the example. 30 units are going to be optional or elective. So here we will need the 120 units listed. But the compulsory courses will be listed, all of them, and a selection of optional and elective will be listed as well, which brings the question, how to select these? How should I know, especially for an undergraduate degree with lots of, in philosophy, they had 60 of these credits. So 60 credits were kind of up to grab by students. So here, what we propose is to use the Institute for Research and Planning, and I can liaise with them to ask them what are the courses that are mostly popular by your students. So we have a representative sample of your courses and we put them here. This is the best we can do. We know there are limitations. So she comes up with a list and she says, you know, for a Bachelor of Health Sciences, 15 of students have taken this one, 13 this one, 2 this one course this course, etc., etc. So we go with the highest one and we put these here. So once we have this, you would need to identify a professor who will take these PLOs and tell you at what level this PLO is covered. So we have 3 levels, I, R, or A. Okay, so this will give you a very quick overview of how the PLOs in the program are covered by the courses, anything that has a code. Now, for graduate programs, there is a small twist here, because in the undergraduate, we have 3 possibilities, I, R, or A. But when you're talking about the graduate, look, you have 3 possibilities here. If I do here, I, R, A. But in the graduate programs, you have a less number of courses. So a single course may as well cover the topic at I and R and A. So we'll have 5 different possibilities. And this is why the graduate template is different. So in the graduate template, you see, here you have 5 combinations, which means, for example, méthode d'intervention en service social, which is travail social, PLO 4 is covered at the I plus R level, which means students are introduced and then the reinforcement happens in the same course. Who says so? the most senior professor who has taught this course for the past N years. That's the criteria for selecting who is saying so. So we would like the most experienced professor in this course. So if there are multiple professors, for example, you have courses such as seminars there's no one single professor, you do it by team. So 2 or 3 professors which usually take care of this activity or most representative, mostly experienced, they gather and they decide which level you have to give. So why this is very quick? Because so what does it need here to do? You need the course plan. You need a professor with the course plan so that it's very kind of up to date with what is being taught, and then select the level and familiarity with the PLOs. So this is why consultation with the prof is super important. And then immediately decide at what level the coverage is going to be. So altogether, it's going to take about 10 minutes to look or go over these. Yes?
Do you consider the programs in French and versus English as separate programs or the same program just in a different language? Because I can see at this point it would be difficult to, if one professor is teaching in French and the other is teaching in English, their ratings and these criteria may be different.
The problem, I'm hesitating replying to you, but the problem is that by right, they shouldn't be different. And that is something that saddens me.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't have any evidence for that, but I guess the question is when you do this, because you could have a different course code in French than in English, do you just put them all in the same thing, or do you separate that? I guess that's what I'm trying to get a sense of.
It's up to you. If you feel that it's really different, which is the reality, it is not a good reality, but let's face it, these are different, right? So I would say 2 separate.
Just gather the information, maybe put it all in the thing at first, see what you get back. And in fact, I don't see there's any way that you would be sending this whole thing to each professor. You would probably make a targeted thing. Here are the program learning outcomes. Can you tell me what you think your course addresses or fits into these with the different levels or not? Is that kind of how you do it?
The way we were thinking of that is to share a link to this document. This will be one single document, and everyone will have access, and we'll look at how this works. I mean, because this will be a living document for the period of time that you would like to keep it open. So we can put a sheet here. You will put the name of the program, but you can put bracket FR. You can put another sheet, bracket EN, for example. If you feel that it's warranted, there's a huge difference. To be honest with you, we haven't done this, and we are aware of this reality that there may be differences. So what has guided the choice of the courses and so on was more on because we did the formal analysis, which is heavy. The formal analysis can take up to 45 minutes of prof time. This is why it was heavy, right? So it was based on the availability of the professor. Was he available? Was she available or not? Which was not the best choice, but that was the limitation. We have to live with it. So again, back to your question, and thank you for raising this. If you feel that there is a huge, significant difference between the English stream and the French stream, I would recommend putting 2 items here. So for those who are common, that's fine. You can leave them as such. But for those who are different, we can create 2 sheets. Another question that came, sorry, go ahead.
In our grant program, our students have to choose either the French or English, because otherwise the French stream it would get smaller and smaller and smaller, and so we'd have to do them differently, separately.
I think
that one program.
I'm mostly familiar with the undergraduate programs, and those are completely separate.
In the education.
Yeah, in education, because you're really learning about the different learning practices.
The question I had is, do we have operational definitions for I, R, and A?
Yeah, so all the information was in the slides and it will be uploaded. You have instructions, it's complete. We have lots of documents. This is where the role of the explanatory documents will be clear. When you want to send out to your professors, once you have defined the list here, and you have defined which professor is going to be in charge of this, which course, or which group of professors are going to be in charge, I will share with you the links that you can share with them. And these links will work with anyone having a U Ottawa. They will have all the information. Yes, please.
Is it always necessary to go through IRNA? What if the objective is to introduce students to some concept?
Introduce, so it will be I.
So they wouldn't have to go through the RNA in that case. If you wanted to introduce students, I mean, I think this is common. You show them something, but don't develop an expertise.
Then it's not among the PLOs. Because all the PLOs, remember the definition, they have to reach the advanced level. So in this case, I would formulate the PLOs in such a way that your requirement is covered by the PLO, but the PLO you need. So in order to get to the advanced level, you need this introduction to the concept that you mentioned. This is how we formulate things. You see what I mean? In order to get to the advanced level, we need this introductory level. One question that came yesterday, and it's important, I would like to leverage on that. There was a question that, imagine we don't find anyone doing this. Can we stick to the description of the course? And please no.
The two-sentence description that is so vague.
Please don't do that. Please talk to your faculty members, the experienced ones, so that and convince them to undertake this. This will not take long. Their expertise is very valuable, and this will be a key in order to continue this activity. Okay, so this is how we do things. Then this information will be coming into the final assessment report, stage 2, etc., stage 3. Stage 3 is after the final assessment report. The academic unit is going to implement changes if there are any changes to be implemented. So based on the IRA table, the course PLO mapping table, you detect that there is something missing here. So some courses need a bit of tweaking, some courses, maybe you need to introduce a course, maybe you need to change something. You implement this, and you have about 3 years to do that. Just check the changes, whether they have, so these changes were in your final assessment report, right? Here you, that's right. Okay. Self-study or final assessment report. Okay, so this is the report that is going to be submitted. Here you implement the changes. After, so in the process of, in the time of 2 or 3 years, to just get the pulse of the program, and then we do the formal curriculum analysis. That's how the things have been split. So formal curriculum analysis is the heavy artillery, with questionnaire, with lots of questions. So it will take 30 to 45 minutes of professor time to answer this, because we are going to go deep into the details of how do we do things. I'm going to share with you some information. And this will be the basis for your progress report, which will be due midway, okay? So for timeline, please ask OPE, and they will tell you what is the timeline. Stage 5 is implement any further curriculum changes per progress report. So you find out that this works well, perfect. We keep it. This didn't work well, we need to do some more tweaking.
So where's the external evaluator visit in that timeline?
It's here. Process feedback from, sorry, so this has to be coming after the final assessment report.
No, isn't it self-assessment where you telling us the final assessment report
Yeah.
comes after the self-study.
Yeah, final assessment. So this is a terminology problem that I always have.
Yeah.
So final assessment report, according to BEP or OEP, is when you have had the feedback from your external evaluators and you reply to your feedback. You'd say, I agree or I don't agree. This is what I want to do. This is what I understand. Correct me if I'm wrong, Danny. It's a bit confusing.
When we get the external review report back, then we will send that to you. We'll prepare an action plan, and then we at the office prepare the final assessment report, and that will include your action plan. So
the self-study is between stage 1 and stage 2.
self-study is the very first part. So this is what we're going to be working on for the next year.
So the template, we just had a look at it, and so these are instructions about how to schedule all of that. So format courses offered in both languages. If you feel that you don't need to differentiate it, so far this is how we did it. If there is only one language, so this is how we do it. All compulsory courses to be included. Optional and elective courses, we have to select a representative sample, very vague definition. So in order to put a bit of precision into that, we use IRP's assistance to list down what are the courses that your typical students take, because nobody knows actually. So the deliverables, we looked at the templates. This is for the graduate program. So we have I, R, or A, with respect to the PLOs, right? A quick word about the formal curriculum analysis, and just to highlight the difference between them. I know this is coming in 3 years' time, but it's always good to know what happens next. So you will receive a report about 25 to 30 pages long based on your curriculum. So in the speedy mechanism, it's only one Excel sheet that you will fill. This one, I will produce for you a long report. So this report will contain lots of information. For example, you have for a program, I don't remember what was this program, you have the PLOs that are listed here and the coverage at the introductory, reinforcement, advanced. So for example, here, immediately I see that there is a kind of imbalance between the coverage of the PLOs. There are gaps here. So are these gaps due to the confusion about the IRA, or is it due to something else? We have PLOs that are more emphasized than others. At the introductory, same thing at the reinforcement, same thing at the advanced level. Is this something that you would like it to be so, or is this something that you would like to look into? So my role here would be to offer you these observations. And it's up to you to decide whether you would like to take action, to change. Maybe this is completely something that you wanted, or the department wanted to have so much emphasis on PLO number 1. When something is missing, for example, or is low, is it by modesty of the prof who says, you know, your PLO 5, what I teach is not